We are back, and we've been unleashed on Las Vegas, Sin City, the entertainment capital of the world. And let's face it, folks, one heck of a hockey town. We're getting set to celebrate the start of this NHL season. We'll have the Golden Knights and the Kings. That is our second game later on tonight, but our hockey evening begins back east. Our nation's capital for what is a red carpet affair in Washington, D.C., as NHL Gold King Alexander Ovechkin and the Caps, they won the East during the regular season last year. They look to kick things off against the Boston Bruins. You know Ovi's going to be ready. Boys, you know this man is going to be ready. Tom Wilson, he had a Gordie Howe hat trick in the preseason.
Be ready.
Biz is speechless. What's up, Biz?
He'll be headhunting. Hey, preseason is over, Biz. Let's go.
You got the Four Nations snub.
Right.
Get me a sniffer.
Come on now.
Get me a sniffer, somebody.
We're back here in Vegas. The sun is shining.
Let's go.
Are back. NHL on TNT. It's opening faceoff powered by Verizon. It is so good to be on the road with this crew. Liam McHugh, Wayne Gretzky. We got Paul Bissonnette, Henrik Lundqvist, and a man who felt good about wearing this tuxedo at one point.
How many
Anson
regrets?
Carter.
I really did. I really did.
regrets.
You know, first game of the season for us boys, I had to bring out the bow tie. It's also a nod to our boy Ernie Johnson, too. You know, our fellow teammates there at NBA and TNT. They're no longer with us, but they set the tone for our network. So I'm just pumped to be here in Vegas to start the season off.
We'll get the towel.
We'll get
hot.
it. We'll get it going. A couple fat heads out there, too, so we'll get it going.
I'm already leading the league in back sweat, I think, at this point. But
I put some ice in my boxers a little bit to cool down the gonads, you know? That's where the core temperature gets too hot.
That's called swack, Liam.
Is that what it
Sweaty
is?
back.
Swass?
Yeah. Oh,
Swack.
Good to know.
Swack, Biz.
All right, my apologies.
Yeah. Well, you learn something every day.
Yeah, hotter than two squirrels humping in a wool sock. Right?
I was just wanting to know where were you going with that.
Yeah.
Other than
Just kept digging.
Kept
digging.
you know, when you're 4 years old and you're dreaming of playing hockey and your feet freeze and your mom and dad put them over the heater and you thaw out and you start crying. I never thought years ago that I'd be sitting here at 100 degree weather getting ready for a National Hockey League game in Las Vegas, but it is exciting.
Yeah, it's a great place to be. It's really truly become one of the great hockey cities. But we haven't seen you boys in a while. We were at the Stanley Cup final, and then it was summer break time. So let's catch up. What have we been up to? Gretz, out on the links.
Scotland, downhill cup.
Not bad.
Last night. Celebrating Willie O'Ree's 90th birthday with the
happy
San
birthday.
Diego Gulls. Shout out to Willie.
The great Willie O'Ree, and then Hank doing glamorous things, making money, stock
Yeah,
exchange.
we're ringing the bell at the Wall Street, you know, celebrating the Rangers. 100 years this year. Incredible.
How did it go last night?
Yeah, just like the old days when Hank played. No goal
Just one
support.
game, Wayne. Just one game.
What about some friends of ours? What were they doing over the
great.
summer? Bowie out there shooting commercials, fly fishing. An actual bear comes into the scene chasing Bowie. You know what? We weren't sure about this. It felt like it could have been something else. Our investigators were out there.
You know it.
And there it is.
You
Paul
know it.
Bissonnette, how you spent your summer.
Exactly. Going after that guy, that criminal. He should be locked up. He's still roaming the streets in Seattle. It's a joke.
Well, listen, we'll see if we have another mascot fight at some point this year.
Oh, we
don't have
will.
one right now. It's too hot. Just can't have it. But we're here in Vegas. It's our second game. Right next to us, they're going to have the gold carpet you saw out in D.C., the red carpet affair. The fans rock the red. It's the Caps taking on the Bruins. So let's head out there right now because our man who's keeping an eye on absolutely everything, holy jumping, it's Darren Pang inside where it looks awfully cool. DP, how are you, pal?
What's up, little fella?
I'm doing fantastic. You guys sound great, and Wayne needs a little bit of that rain that poured on him, 48 degrees, and raining sideways there in Scotland. I saw you there, Gretz. You were all covered up and bundled up there, big fella.
That's
you need
true.
that right now.
Oh, my gosh. I'll never complain about the weather over there ever again.
DP, I'm told that...
but it's all good here.
Well, I'm told that the sun's going to go down in about like a half hour, and we're going to be in the shade and we're going to be comfortable. So Gretz thought it would be okay if we just handed it for you for the next half hour. You can take over the show.
Take it away.
Sounds good, Gretz. Sounds good. Well, and I think here it's unique here in Washington. You guys know that they're doing these massive renovations in the building, and you get down below. It's really hard to get through. There's hard hats, and you've got dust all over. The workers have been running around the clock here to get this ready here for game one. They did play a preseason game, but not the same. So that part has been a little different. But outside, the players being brought in here on the red carpet, and I think it's just an exciting moment for them after their great year last year. They got the Coach of the Year in Spencer Carberry, the Jack Adams Awards winner, and so a lot going on here, but really relatively the same team the Capitals are, and I think they'll play the exact same way as they played last year. They'll feed off of Ovechkin, and they'll just play a 4-line game like they did last year, one of the best stories in the National Hockey League in a long, long time. So we're looking forward to the Bruins coming here tonight and having this game, and the Bruins will go back-to-back. They'll play tomorrow at home against the Blackhawks.
We're looking forward to checking it out. Panger, thanks so much, pal. We'll check in with you later on in the night. Obviously, some uncertainty surrounding Alexander Ovechkin, who broke Gretzky's all-time goals record last year. But as you look for this season right now, I mean, there's so many different things to look forward to. Obviously, you start with the Florida Panthers, the potential for a three-peat. We have an Olympic year here with NHL players for the first time since 2014. But it feels like over the last week, what has stolen the headlines? Contracts.
Money.
No doubt about it. And we had news from right here in Las Vegas not long ago before we came up here on set. Fans here, the Golden Knights could be very happy. Jack Eichel, 8 more years here in Vegas, $13.5 million per year per our friend Darren Dreger. But the two biggest headlines contract-wise, one, of course, the Minnesota Wild and Kirill Kaprizov, they break the bank, a record-setting NHL contract. 8 years, $136 billion, most ever per year at $17 million a year. So we have the biggest contract ever, and then just days later, arguably the biggest discount in all of sports. Connor McDavid signs a 2-year extension, $12.5 million a year. So he doesn't get a lot of term there for Edmonton, but he wants to run it back. He said he wanted to win there. But it feels like, Gretz, right now the pressure is on that Edmonton team for the next couple of years to surround him with pieces so they can get this done.
Yeah, there's no question. First of all, we all know he's worth way more than that. He gave a home discount. He wants to win there. You can utilize some of that assets and that money to get other players to make their team better. It doesn't do him any good to take all the money he can take at the maximum rate and not be able to build a team around him. But I think that Edmonton's going to be a surprise team this year. I think they're a better team this year than they were last year. I think they're younger, they're faster, and they got 2 of the best players in the game. So, good for him, good for the city of Edmonton, and I expect Edmonton to have a wonderful year.
I mean, that's charity work right there that he's doing in Edmonton. He should be getting a cut of the 50-50 at that number he's getting. But, all of a sudden that makes the Darnell contract not look as bad. The Bouchard, where he had to get paid $10.5, and obviously they end up linking in Wallman. So they get a little bit more familiarity in that locker room. Ekholm as well, which I think that's another bargain. The fact that he's at $4 million, where he's an incredible two-way defenseman. So it's nice that he's given that team the luxury in order to compete now, and in order to compete with these Southern teams, you have to bend at some point, and I think he's done an incredible job of giving them an opportunity to win now.
You start looking at these contracts, these signings. To me, it's just a great sign where the league is at right now. We used to start sweating around $11, $12 million contracts. I think GMs now is like, okay, we got to sign good players for 10, 11, 12 million. The top guy's going to make $16, $17 million. So I'm just happy that the league is, trending in the right direction. They're doing a great job of, optimizing everything that comes into the sport right now. And then obviously the players are benefiting from that. So a couple of surprising numbers for sure over the last couple of weeks. But the thing I take away, though, is still where we're at with the game right now and the league itself.
And I thought it was smart for McDavid to wait for Kaprizov to sign, because now he can sign at a discount. And he looks great to the fans at Edmonton, coming in at $12.5 million versus Kaprizov 17. I know people are up in arms saying, oh, the deals are going towards 17, 18, 19. I think about like Bobrovsky when he signed and he made $10 million a year. We all thought, oh, he's going to make $10 million a year. No, he's a bit of an outlier. And I think with Kaprizov deal, it's a little bit different because they've been trying to get renovations done in the arena the last couple of years. They want to get some municipal money. So what better way to show the local government that you're fully invested by keeping your top talent and showing the local government there that you're willing to do whatever you can to make sure the Minnesota Wild is the top team in the National Hockey League.
And back to the Oilers. I mean, you're going to spend that money specifically. You would think they'd have to look maybe in goal to bolster things there. But, all right, let's say it's a 3-year deal, essentially, because he's on the books this year. Could be 2 if you feel like maybe you have to trade him going into that final year if you're uncertain about him staying. Do you think they get a cup with Connor McDavid, the Edmonton Oilers?
As a betting man, I'd say yes, and I hope that he brings one home. And then at that point, I think that nobody's going to hold anything against him. Even if he doesn't at this point, I don't think they're holding anything there. He's given them the opportunity. But if I'm a betting man, I would say in the next 2 years, they bring one up to Canada for the first time in over 30 years.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're a much better team this year than last year. I think they're, as I said, younger, they're faster. And I like their goaltending. You know, I think the goalie's not the big issue. I would have played him in Game 5 last year. You know, we talked about this in Game 4. It was 3-0 after the first period, and it could have been 7-0 for Florida. He was the best player, and then he didn't play in Game 5, which I'm still kind of trying to figure out why he didn't. But I think he's a goaltender that can win big games for them. And like I said, when you got the best player in the game, you always got a chance to win, right? And now he's taken all the pressure off of himself and the fans of the city. He can go out and play and just concentrate on trying to bring a Stanley Cup. And don't forget, he's got Draisaitl too, who happens to be a pretty good hockey player.
And it's, you know, a lot of people are comparing that and the Kaprizov situation, where I don't think that Connor has the luxury of where they got the Boldies all of a sudden making $8 million, where that's a 40-goal guy, 40-assist guy. You know, the Fabers, who's under a very healthy contract. For me, the big thing in Edmonton right now is getting Hyman back to where he was a few years ago. A devastating injury and a devastating loss for them going into that finals, especially against such a loaded Florida team. So if they can get him playing at the bargain that he's at to where he was a few years ago in that 50-goal season, that to me is going to be a big underlier, and also maybe where they don't have to necessarily address.
How did you pronounce that word?
Underlier?
Bargain?
A bargain.
Oh, okay. All right. I wasn't sure.
And, you know, injuries are part of it. Look at Florida. They got 2 of the best players in the game that are not going to start. We don't know when Barkov will be back, and looks like Chuck won't be back till December or January. That's unfortunately part of our game. These guys are so big and fast and physical now. You never know when one of your best players is going to get injured.
And as much as we want to talk about Edmonton, there's a few other teams in the West that are very loaded, this one being one of them. Definitely. Especially with the big move they made this offseason. Colorado's not going anywhere. And, you know, is Dallas still that team that we think they are? And every year we seem to push the chips in on. So it's going to be a grind to get out of the West, and Edmonton's got their hands full.
Yeah, and how about Winnipeg? We haven't even really talked about that. They were one of the best teams in hockey last year, and they got one of the best goalies in hockey. So Winnipeg, don't count them out. They're going to be a tough out this year too.
And re-signed Kyle Connor too.
Yep, that's right. Another
Big
free
money.
agent off the market, potential free agent anyway. They were the President's Trophy winners last year. Not the only contracts though.
Oh, money. Okay. Money.
Somebody's buying dinner.
Money.
And then right after that,
My boy Cuba saying, "Show me the money." Okay.
they didn't put that up when you signed.
Yeah, there's no money left for us. Arms for the poor. Arms for the poor.
Nice knowing you guys.
I don't think we need to take a hack.
I'm going to be
collection for
working
ya.
at the Spearmint Rhino in no time here. Thanks a lot, guys.
That'll be a bargoon.
Bring your ones, Wayne.